In the heart of West Africa, Niger, a landlocked country with vast uranium reserves and a growing oil industry, became the center of a conspiracy that exposed the deep-rooted influence of its former colonial ruler, France. The sabotage of Niger's newly completed oil pipeline, a project meant to transform the nation's economy and loosen the grip of foreign powers, revealed a tangled web of modern manipulation, resource exploitation, and covert interference. Niger's pipeline, stretching 2,000 kilometers to the Benin coast, symbolized a bold step toward economic independence. The project, backed by China and Niger's own government, aimed to allow Niger to export its crude oil directly, bypassing reliance on foreign intermediaries. For a nation where over 40% of the population lives in poverty, the pipeline represented hope for a brighter future. But just weeks before its inauguration, a catastrophic explosion ripped through a critical section of the pipeline, halting operations and plunging the nation into chaos. Initial reports attributed the sabotage to local militant groups, citing grievances over resource distribution. However, as investigative journalists and international observers delved deeper, a more sinister pattern emerged. Evidence pointed to external actors with sophisticated equipment and access to classified project details. Leaked documents and whistleblower testimonies painted a chilling picture. The sabotage was orchestrated by a network of mercenaries linked to French corporations with vested interests in maintaining Niger's dependency on Paris. For decades, France had built its economic prosperity on the backs of its former African colonies. Niger's uranium fueled France's nuclear power plants, yet the profits rarely trickled down to the Nigerian people. Despite gaining independence in 1960, Niger remained tethered to France through exploitative trade agreements, military interventions, and a currency system controlled by the French treasury. When Niger's government sought to diversify its partnerships, particularly with China, it threatened the delicate balance of power France had meticulously maintained. The pipeline project became a flashpoint in this geopolitical struggle. Investigations revealed that the sabotage was not an isolated incident, but part of a broader strategy. Emails leaked from a French energy conglomerate exposed a plan to destabilize Niger's oil sector to protect its own monopolies. In one chilling memo, a company executive wrote, "If Niger succeeds, others will follow. We must ensure dependence remains." France's influence extended beyond corporations. Intelligence reports indicated that French operatives had infiltrated key sectors of Niger's government, feeding misinformation to sow discord and stall development projects. The sabotage galvanized the Nigerian population, sparking mass protests against French interference. Citizens demanded accountability and called for an end to the CFA franc, the currency system viewed as a vestige of colonial control. In response, Niger's leadership doubled down on its partnership with China and other non-Western allies, seeking to rebuild the pipeline and secure its resources. The international community, meanwhile, was forced to confront the uncomfortable truth about France's role in Africa. Advocacy groups called for transparency in resource contracts and an end to neo-colonial practices. The shocking truth behind the pipeline sabotage marked a turning point for Niger and Africa at large. While the road to true independence remained fraught with challenges, the exposure of France's hidden influence ignited a continent-wide movement to reclaim sovereignty over natural resources. As Niger rebuilt its pipeline, the message was clear. Africa's resources would no longer serve as the foundation for foreign empires. The sabotage, intended to weaken Niger, instead became a rallying cry for a new era of African empowerment.